you're ever in Washington, D.C., walk into the National Gallery of Art, find a docent, and say, I would like to see a series of paintings by Thomas Cole called The Voyage of Life. She'll walk you past this beautiful fountain, and you'll go into the back of the gallery. And there, she'll take you to a room that is designated to these 4 life-size portraits called The Voyage of Life, Thomas Cole. They're stunning. You walk in there, and you see the first panel. And in the first panel, it's called Birth. And you see a cave. And coming out of the cave is gentle water. And on the water is a boat and an infant, a cherub, angelic-looking infant who is happy and joyful. The cave is meant to represent birth, the water, life, and the child is entering into the world. And you look out, and the world is absolutely beautiful. You see green meadows with flowers dotted everywhere. There's sunshine, and you have an hourglass. And the hourglass full of sand is full. And then there is an angel that is helping the child and is running the tiller of the boat. And the child is so happy. Then you go to the second panel, and it's adolescence. This child is now a teenager on the cusp of adulthood. And this child is brash and is now holding the tiller himself, and he has all kinds of ambitions. He's looking off into the distance to his future, which he is just convinced it's a bright future, and he sees this castle in the sky. And the angel is on the shore waving goodbye as this brash young man is sailing off into his incredible future. Then you have the third panel. The third panel is middle-aged. And the waters are now chaotic. And they're like white waters. His rudder is broken. There's no longer any sunshine. Instead, there is darkness. And this youth, who is now a man, middle-aged, is just holding on. And he's looking up into the sky, but there's nothing into the sky except darkness. And you can see, if you look closely in the painting, you have to get real close, but you see these demonic images representing despair and depression. All of his hopes, all of his dreams have been eviscerated and evaporated. But if you look on the other side of the painting, there's a small speck of light. And it's that same angel that has been with that person through every single step of that child's life. And then in the final painting, the hourglass that was full at the very beginning, the sands are out. And the water that was calm at the very beginning of the child's birth is once again calm. And although there is a darkened sky, you see a massive burst of light coming down from the heavens, and the angel that was with the child is ready to lead that child, who is now an old man, back home as you see the heavens opening wide. It's the full cycle of life. What I love about these paintings is that the centerpiece is water. In every single panel, there is water. And that the child begins a voyage. And in fact, I failed to mention, remember that panel with the brash young teenager looking off into his ambition into the sky? That castle that he's aiming for is actually an illusion. And just around the bend, you get a foreshadowing that there is going to be rough waters ahead. Because each panel foreshadows what is coming next. And that's what I love about these paintings, because in many ways they align perfectly well with our gospel and with baptism that we're celebrating today. In our gospel, Jesus' parents are bringing him to the temple to be presented for the water rites. And you can just kind of feel the excitement when you're reading it, can't you? There's just happiness and joy. And Simeon, who has been waiting his whole life to see the Messiah, is finally encountering the Messiah. And when I've read this a couple of times, I can imagine him holding the child, clutching the child. And as he is ending his life, the child is beginning his life. But then he says something disturbing, doesn't he? In the midst of this happiness, he gives a foreshadowed warning that a sword will pierce this child one day. And then he looks over at the child's mother and says, a sword will pierce your sword as well. Anna, the other prophet, also foresees a time where salvation will come. And so there's all this foreshadowing happening here. There's joy of redemption, but there's also a vision that pain's going to happen before that redemption occurs. We are so grateful for the baptism within our faith. And it's so much like this journey of life, isn't it? And so we are so blessed that we can welcome Olivia May and Cameron Ellis as they begin their journey of life. One of the things we do as a congregation is that we're fine-tuning God's truth, which is we're here with you. We're going to pray over you, and we're going to watch over you just as God is with you each and every step of the way. And the same with your parents. Because whatever you're going to go through life, whether it's calm waters, ambitions, disappointments, joys, sorrows, no matter how difficult those waters may be or how calm they may be, we're offering prayers to you. We're with you. And God is with you each and every step of the way. But guess what? We're also on that same journey. We're also on that journey of life. Many of us in here were once children, once infants, or adults, adolescents. People prayed over us. People clapped and said, we're with you on your journey back home to God. Remember that as we go through this baptismal rite, that we are also on this journey, and that the prayers that were said over us, they still count. And for those of you who haven't been baptized, you're not out of this. God is with you as well. Just like that angel that was there with that one child coming out of the cave. None of us are alone. God is with us, guiding us. Sometimes we can't see the light as clearly because the darkness is so great, but the light is there. But our point is, keep moving forward, keep journeying ahead, because one day the waters will calm down, the darkness will break, the lightness will become even brighter, and we too will return home. That's the promise of baptism. Amen.